Hello everyone, Darren here, and on today's episode of WoTC Academy we will look at render range. As many inexperienced players have asked why they can see an enemy tank on the minimap, but cannot physically see it. Well, today we will look at the difference between spotting and render range, as well as how render range works in World of Tanks console. So let's get started. So the best way I found to explain the difference between spotting and render range is with a visual representation. Currently, I am unable to create such an example with my current hardware, so I took this very good example from a video on the World of Tanks Europe YouTube channel. Do note, all credit for this depiction goes to them, and I will link the channel in the description below. But anyway, the absolute maximum spotting distance a vehicle can spot is 445 meters, while maximum render range for all vehicles is 565 meters. What is render range, you ask? Well, render range is the maximum distance that any vehicle can visually render a tank, regardless of whether or not a teammate is spotting them. Do note, though, that for spotting distance, every vehicle has a different max spotting range, and some may not even be able to reach the absolute max spotting distance. That covers the explanation. Now let's look at some visual examples. So starting off, we're going to look at the spotting range. You can see here, as by my teammates here, that the distance that I spot the IS-4 is around 445 meters there. Currently, though, the tank is sitting at 423 meters away. You are going to see here, though, that a second tank is going to appear momentarily, and you will see that he is going to be the example showing the maximum spotting range of the tank. As you can see, he just literally showed up at 430 meters. At this point now, he is backing up, and he will become unspotted beyond 406. At 460 meters, he does become unspotted, but I was able to spot him right around 445, give or take, obviously, a couple of meters. The IS-4 is going to be sitting there stationary to show that roughly the maximum spotting range. And what you see here is the T110E3 is going to be continuously rolling back in and out to show that I do lose spotting. I would like to show here, though, that you can, and this goes for any tank, is that you can pretty much identify where a tank is going to be just by looking for tracers. You see that he's going to fire, and then you can see the tracer as soon as he gets unspotted. He's still there, I just physically cannot spot him. So you can see there, I'm just going to let this play for a little bit. You get to analyze it for yourself, that it does. That is the maximum spotting distance for the 48 patent, which arguably has the best spotting range for any tier 10 medium tank. Now we are going to look at render range. I have a teammate. You can see him up there. He's farther ahead, and he's going to spot the tanks for me. Now, he's halfway between. He's literally at the halfway point on the map. So what you see here is that he got spotted by my teammate, and he appeared on the minimap, but I physically could not see him. So what's going to happen is the same thing's going to happen, is that the IS-4 is going to back away until he becomes unspotted by me. And this is the maximum, it's the maximum render range. He disappears, and he's going to do the same thing. He's going to roll back in until I spot him. But what I'm actually also showing here is that I am still able to do damage to him, even if I cannot physically see him. If you also look at the minimap, there is that white line. That white line serves the purpose of telling you how far your round will go when you fire. So you can see here the IS-4 is he's right there. My teammate is spotting him, lighting him up. I can see him, and what's going to happen is that he's going to roll back into. He's just going to keep rolling back until I physically cannot see him. There he goes. He disappears, and I'm unable to see him. But you can see that he's still there with the tracers and the rounds bouncing off him. But I am able to still do damage to him, even if I physically cannot see him. I'm just going to let this play for a little bit just to let, it's just a repetitive motion of what's going on. And you can see here that he is at the maximum range that I physically can see the enemy tank. And this goes for every tank in the game. And that concludes today's video on render range. I'd like to thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this one, don't forget to subscribe. But until next time, this has been Darren of WoTC Academy.